My journey began with a whisper of a name, Meghalaya. It means the Abode of Clouds. What a romantic thought, right? This magical land is tucked away in the northeast of India, and honestly, it feels like a world hidden from the rest of us. A place where the earth seems to rise up to meet the sky. I imagined green hills rolling under a blanket of white, fluffy clouds. This wasn't just a trip. It was a pilgrimage to a place I had only dreamt of. The promise of untouched beauty and a culture so different from my own was utterly irresistible. I knew I had to go and see it for myself. Meghalaya truly lives up to its name. The clouds are not just in the sky here. They are your constant companions. They drift across the roads, walk beside you through the villages, and sometimes they completely surround you. It feels as if you're walking through a dream. This region receives some of the highest rainfall in the world. This constant rain feeds countless waterfalls that cascade down the hillsides. The landscape is a brilliant, vibrant green. It is a green so deep and lush it almost hurts the eyes. The air is fresh and clean, filled with the scent of wet earth and wildflowers. The journey started from the bustling city of Guwahati. I was on a motorbike, which I think is the best way to travel. You feel everything so much more intensely. The wind on your face, the smells of the roadside stalls, the bumps in the road. The plan was to ride to a small, charming village called Nongjrong. I had heard tales of its incredible sunrises. The road began to climb almost immediately. The air grew cooler. The chaotic city sounds faded away, replaced by the gentle hum of nature. The path was beautiful, winding through forests and past small hamlets. As we rode, the challenges began. The roads in these parts can be quite demanding. They twist and turn, and sometimes they are not much more than a dirt track. But every turn revealed a new, breathtaking view. We saw valleys stretching out for miles, dotted with tiny houses. We passed rivers that flowed with crystal-clear water. The people we met along the way were so warm and welcoming. They would smile and wave as we passed. It was a reminder that the journey itself is often the most wonderful part of any adventure. The destination is just a lovely excuse. As we approached Shillong, the capital of Meghalaya, a sense of peace settled over me. The landscape became more organized, yet it retained its wild charm. Before reaching the city, we came across the magnificent Umiam Lake. It is a vast, man-made reservoir that looks completely natural. The water was a stunning shade of blue, reflecting the cloudy sky above. The lake is not just beautiful, it is incredibly important. It provides the hydroelectric power that lights up the region. I stopped for a moment, just to take it all in. The stillness of the water and the gentle hills surrounding it felt incredibly serene. Shillong felt like a lovely old British hill station. It had a certain charm, with its colonial-era buildings and bustling markets. But the true magic for me lay beyond the city. We continued our ride, climbing higher into the hills. The views became even more spectacular. We were driving through the clouds now. One moment, the world would be a blanket of white. The next, the clouds would part to reveal a stunning panorama of deep gorges and rolling green hills. It was a truly humbling experience to feel so small amidst such grand natural beauty. The world felt brand new. Of course, with clouds comes rain, and in Meghalaya, the rain is serious. It can start without any warning, a sudden downpour that soaks you in seconds. We faced our fair share of it. The roads became slippery and a little treacherous. But honestly, it was all part of the experience. The rain made the greens even greener. It made the waterfalls roar with more power. Every drop of rain felt like a blessing on the land. And when the sun finally broke through the clouds, the entire landscape would sparkle as if it were covered in diamonds. It was worth every single shiver. The journey on two wheels was simply therapeutic. There is a rhythm to riding a motorbike that connects you to your surroundings. You are not just a spectator looking through a window. You are part of the scene. You feel the change in temperature as you climb higher. You smell the pine trees after a fresh shower of rain. You hear the birdsong and the distant sound of a village church bell. The journey through Meghalaya was as delightful and as enriching as any destination we were heading towards. It was a moving meditation, a constant discovery of small joys along the way. Our next stop was a place called Laitlum Canyons. Laitlum means the end of the hills, and it truly feels like you are standing at the edge of the world. This village is quite well developed with paved walkways and viewpoints, but that does not take away from its raw natural power. We stood on the precipice of a great canyon. The view was not something you just see with your eyes, you feel it in your soul. It is vast and overwhelming. The silence is profound, broken only by the wind whistling through the gorges below. It is a place that makes you feel very small and very alive at the same time. I spent a long time there, just sitting and breathing. The clouds swirled below us, sometimes hiding the valley completely, then parting to reveal its depths. It was a slow, mesmerizing dance. These are the moments that stay with you forever, not just the picture-perfect views, but the feeling of tranquility that washes over you. It is a reminder to slow down, to be present, and to appreciate the quiet beauty of the world. Laitlum has a way of etching itself into your memory, a silent promise of peace that you can return to in your mind long after you have left. On our way, we stumbled upon a local fishing competition. What a delightful scene! The entire village seemed to be there, gathered around a large pond. People of all ages, from tiny children to elderly grandmothers, were trying their luck with fishing rods made of bamboo. There was such a sense of community and simple joy. Laughter echoed across the water. It wasn't about winning a grand prize. It was about spending a day together, enjoying the sunshine and the simple pleasure of each other's company. It was a beautiful glimpse into the heart of village life in Meghalaya. The path to our next destination, a waterfall named Phia Dayam, was an adventure in itself. We had to leave our bike and walk. The trail led us through beautiful green fields where farmers were tending to their crops. Then it entered a small, dense forest. The air became cool and damp, and the only sounds were our footsteps on the leafy ground and the chirping of unseen birds. It felt like walking into a fairy tale. The path was narrow and winding, adding to the sense of mystery and discovery. Every step brought us closer to the sound of rushing water, building our anticipation. The final leg of our journey to Nongjrong was a real battle against the elements. The sky opened up, and a relentless rain began to fall. It was cold, and honestly, we were completely drenched. The road basically turned into a muddy stream. But we were determined to reach the village before nightfall. We pushed on, our bike slipping and sliding, our spirits a little dampened but not broken. There is something about overcoming a challenge like that which makes the arrival so much sweeter. We finally found a small homestay, booked a room, and peeled off our wet clothes, just so grateful for a warm, dry shelter. We had come to Nongjrong for its legendary sunrise. We were told that from the village viewpoint, you can see the clouds fill the valley below like a river of milk as the sun comes up. We went to bed with that beautiful image in our minds, honestly praying for a clear morning. We woke up before dawn, filled with excitement. We made our way to the viewpoint in the dark, the air thick with anticipation. We waited and waited as the sky began to lighten. But the famous sunrise was not to be. The entire valley, and the entire village, was completely enveloped in thick, white clouds. At first, I felt a little pang of disappointment. We had come all this way, but then I looked around. We were literally inside a cloud. We could barely see a few feet in front of us. And you know what? It was magical in its own way. It was a different kind of beauty. It was not the grand, spectacular view we had hoped for, but it was intimate and mysterious. It felt like the village was being held in a soft, white embrace. It was a quiet, gentle experience that was just as memorable. It taught me that sometimes the beauty you find is not the one you were looking for. This experience reminded me that travel is about accepting what the journey gives you. You cannot control the weather or the circumstances. You can only control your reaction to them. Nongjrong without its sunrise was still Nongjrong. It was still a beautiful, peaceful place perched high in the hills. The feeling of being wrapped in a cloud is something I will never forget. It was a lesson in finding joy in the unexpected and appreciating the quiet, subtle moments just as much as the grand, dramatic ones. The village gave us a different gift, and it was a precious one. Our journey continued to Laitlum, famously known as Asia's cleanest village. And it is not just a title, it is a way of life here. The moment you enter, you notice the difference. There are bamboo dustbins everywhere. The streets are spotless. We saw villagers, young and old, sweeping the paths and tending to the beautiful flower gardens outside their homes. This cleanliness is not enforced by rules. It comes from a deep sense of community pride and respect for their environment. It was truly inspiring to see a community working together in such perfect harmony. While in Nongjrong, I decided to be brave and try the local cuisine. I stopped at a small family-run food stall. They served a dish with rice and something I had never tried before: dried fish. The flavors were strong, smoky, and utterly new to my palate. It was a genuine taste of the Khasi culture. The family was so kind, explaining how they prepare the fish and how it is a staple in their diet. Eating their food, prepared with such care, felt like sharing a small part of their lives. It is in these simple interactions that you truly connect with a place and its people. As my time in Meghalaya came to an end, I found myself reflecting on the entire journey. It was so much more than just seeing beautiful landscapes. It was about the people I met, the stories they shared, and the kindness they showed. It was about the feeling of the monsoon rain on my skin and the taste of a new food. It was about the thrill of the bike ride and the peace of a quiet moment on a hilltop. Meghalaya is not just a place to visit. It is a place to experience with all your senses. It gets under your skin and stays in your heart. This journey above the clouds was a profound reminder of the simple, essential things in life. The beauty of nature, the warmth of human connection, and the joy of a shared meal. Meghalaya's enchanting hills and gentle people taught me so much. They showed me a way of life that is deeply connected to the earth and to the community. Leaving was difficult, but I carried a piece of its tranquility with me. And I know one day I will return to walk among the clouds once more. It is a place that calls you back.